Yeah, hi there. Hi is everyone, how you doing? Alright, so today we'll be moving on to the next episode. Please, last video, please try and look out for my last video. Press like and subscribe for more of these videos. Since we are still dealing with supplementary, in this time, in this very period, in this very episode, we are going to be treating just the tip of the iceberg concerning what angle at the same what segment, right? So let's see how this tip will be done. Assuming we have a circle this way. All right. So the major thing about angle in the same segment is just the tip there is just an X kind of lines. What I mean is this: we have an X sort of lines. Right now, in this case, now your X lines need to touch the circumference of the circle. That's how to know angle in the same what segment. So what we're looking at today in this episode is angles in the same segment, right? So this is all the tip of the whole thing, X, the tip. So what happens next is this: we need to join our X points together, right? And let's call this angle X, let's call this angle Y, V, and let's call this W, right? So what will happen here is, since you have gotten your X, right, and you have your lines joining the two tips of the X, right, on circumference. So what you need to do is this: look at it. Let's take for instance V, right? Angle V is having the same base. Angle V is having the same base, right, at X, Y with angle W. What I mean is, look at the tip of V, right? And look at the two base arc section of V. It ends at X and ends at Y, right? Then let's take the tip angle of W, the base arc of angle W still at what? X and Y. So in this situation, that means we have what? Angle V equals to angle W. That means our angle C segment are equal. Angle in the same segments are equal. So this is just the angle considered, but you need to put the boundary angles there, right? That is the supporting angles. That is, this is angle V, which is our reference angle. Then between these two boundaries, that will be X and Y. So we have angle X V W Y. Then we have angle X V W angle X V Y. That is the V is the reference angle. Then likewise, angle W, we have it in what? The boundary angles X, then we have W, our reference angle, then the boundary angle Y. So then in circle geometry, one thing you need to do is that what you put the theorems beside your solution. So what do you have? We have angles in the same segment. Right. So let's look at this problem. So in this problem, If you look at it this way, right? We're gonna have we have angle F, angle E, angle D, and angle what? D. Angle F, angle E, angle B, and angle D. So what are the angles in the same segment in this problem? We're gonna have look at the tip of B and tip of D, the angles of B and angles of D. They all hence are what the base angle of F and E, like base angle arc of F and E. So that means that what angle B equals to what angle D. Likewise, you can still move upward. Look at this place too as well. Angle X and angle Y are what are equal because of what they angle the same segments because they have the same base as arc of VW. Likewise, this case. So in this case too, angle what F and angle what E are the same. Why are they the same? They are forming the X kind of tip, right? That is tip of the iceberg, the X kind of tip. So what happened here is that what the angle of F has its ending arc base at B and D. Likewise, the angle of E is having its arc end base as B and D. Likewise, B and D are having their arc base at F and E. So this is how we can easily go about angling the same segments are equal. Perhaps, for instance, if you're having a circle in this case, right, and we're having something like this, right, let's call angle A, B, let's call this 0, let's call this D, and let's call this E. Yeah, look at this. The three angles are touching the circumference, but the fourth one is not touching us, so we can't really apply the angle in the same segment in this case because all the four angles must touch the circumference, and that's going to make us to follow the angle in the same segments are equal. So in this case, you can apply this rule in this case. Do have a nice day. Please like my video and subscribe for more videos. We're going to continue in this topic next episode. Do have a nice day. God bless.